Dexter Original Sin's Patrick Gibson just did an interview where he talks about the possibility of a season 2. So let's get into it. I'm Pamela, welcome back to the channel. I came across this article on yahoo.com where Patrick Gibson did a little interview about what to possibly expect for a season 2 of Dexter Original Sin. Now, a season 2 has not been confirmed. However, showrunner Clyde Phillips has expressed an interest in making another season. He has said in the past that he never planned for it to only be one season. Patrick Gibson said that he would be so lucky to return if he could, and already has hopes for where he can take the character next. He says, "I would love to. I had such a great time doing this, and everybody involved is so incredible. To have Clyde, the original showrunner, involved and still doing it, and the cast was also great, that I would feel so lucky to come back again." He also says, "Something that I'd like to see, while the series feels kind of like a pilot series, a lot of stuff is getting set up and he's learning from the very beginning of his first kill. And I'm so curious to see him start to become a little bit more confident with his methods and take bigger swings, but that also might come with harder lessons. I think the stakes just get higher and higher with the show naturally, and so that's been really interesting to see. And also some characters that we haven't got to meet yet from the original would be cool." So that is interesting. I wonder what other characters we could possibly see going forward. I think there might be a good chance that we could see Dr. Evelyn Vogel. In fact, I just put out a video previously about this and a connection that I found between Vogel and Harry Morgan. So definitely check that out if you haven't yet. So we definitely could see Vogel. I think we're also going to see Captain Matthews. Spoiler alert for season 1 if you're not caught up. We're going to talk spoilers a little bit, but we found out that Captain Spencer is the big bad. We have not seen the finale yet, but I think it's safe to assume that Dexter is going to kill him. So Spencer's going to vanish, and I think Captain Matthews is going to come in to replace him. And that's probably why we haven't seen Matthews yet. They're kind of just saving him for season 2 probably. So Vogel and Matthews are definitely good options for us to see. I know a lot of you guys want to see Dokes. I would love to see Dokes, but I'm not sure when he arrives to Miami Metro. I don't think that he arrives until the late 90s. So, you know, if season 2 is picking up right where we left off, I don't think we're going to see him for a little while, but who knows? Maybe they will do a little bit of retconning, which wouldn't be the first time. Maybe he won't arrive to Miami Metro yet, but maybe he's currently friends with LaGuardia. Maybe they knew each other before he came to work at Miami Metro, and maybe we'll just get like a quick scene with LaGuardia and Dokes, sort of like we did with Miguel Prado, just a quick little sighting of Dokes. Maybe we could also get Joe Driscoll in an episode, Dexter's biological father. The article goes on to say, Gibson takes the baton from Hall in Original Sin, portraying killer Dexter Morgan from his early 20s when he studied pre-med and had only just begun showing his psychopathic nature. The story of how Dexter developed his code and became the Bay Harbor Butcher is explained in the original series, but not to the same extent, which gave Gibson room to create his own version of the character. The actor worked closely with Hall in the early stages of production, first speaking to him during the table read for the prequel, before exchanging emails together about the character. Gibson said, "I started by being like, is there anything that I should or shouldn't do? I didn't want to do anything that directly clashed with his idea of who Dexter was when he was younger. But actually he ended up being really generous about taking this iteration of Dexter and making him my own. But also he shared some insights into the things that he finds most relatable about Dexter, which I thought was really useful because that's one of the biggest challenges, to play a psychopath who we as an audience feel empathy for. His take on that was some of the most relatable elements are those feelings of trying to fit in that Dexter has, and how everything to Dexter feels like it's this act and he can't live his authentic self." And then in the interview, they kind of go on to talk about Brian Moser, his brother, who we know has been showing up a lot in season 1. And Gibson said that Dexter's first season is one of his favorites, so the breadcrumbs that have been scattered about Brian are equally as exciting for him as it would be for fans. Brian's been scoping Dexter for a long time, and I think how those two stories intertwine is really fascinating, which is so true. I've been saying, like, It's so crazy that Original Sin is a prequel for Dexter, but also serving as a prequel for Brian. It's so genius the way that they are doing this. And then they talked about what is next for Dexter Original Sin, and they also talked about the reveal with Captain Spencer. Gibson said, "I was shocked, I really was. I did not see it coming in the scripts. I guess maybe if I was thinking about it in terms of it being somebody who was not there in the original, but I still kind of suspected Gio, I suspected Tanya. I think it does a great job of setting up those red herrings and everyone that is suspicious, even like Clark, played by Aaron Jennings." He also said Original Sin is the kind of show he can picture himself making for a long time because of how fun the experience was regardless of the dark context of Dexter's actions. I think that's why it's something that I can imagine doing for a while, even just doing it 6 months straight. It doesn't get you down because it is so much fun, like the comedy of it. Then the next day you're doing a really dramatic scene with Christian, and the day after that I'm earring shopping with Deb and like going to a frat party, but then you're in the kill room the next day. There's so much variety in it, and that's what makes it so fun. So yeah, I think it's looking pretty promising that we could get a second season. Clyde Phillips has said that he never intended for it to only be 1 season. Patrick Gibson is like so down to do this for a long time, and with how well the first season has been received by fans, I think it's only a matter of time before they get renewed for a second season. But what are your thoughts? Leave a comment. Are you looking forward to a second season? I will say that I wasn't expecting it to go beyond 1 season. Just kind of the way that they set it up in the first episode with current day Dexter pretty much dying on his way to the hospital, and he says, it really is like they say, your life flashing before your eyes. So I kind of just figured this 1 season is like him reminiscing on his life, narrating it, and that the finale is going to end with him being saved in the hospital and leading us into season 1 of Resurrection. So once Dexter wakes up and is fine and recovered, how is that really going to work with a season 2? I guess it doesn't really matter if you think about it, because even though I always considered this to be Dexter reminiscing on his life on his deathbed, if you think about it, there are several scenes where Dexter wasn't even there for it that we're seeing play out. Like, you know, when Harry and LaGuerta go on the road together, or when Deb is with her boyfriend. Dexter wasn't there for those moments, yet we see them play out anyway, so I guess a second season could very well work out. Please give this video a like if you enjoyed it, subscribe to the channel if you're new here, hit that notification bell so that you don't miss out on future Dexter videos. Please also follow me over on TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram, and I will see you guys next time.